All right, guys, this one's also a big one. We got the current tag team champs. We got the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Cero Miedo, and Rey Fenix with Alex Abrantes. I don't even know what his fucking role is with them, but whatever. Going up against FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood with Tully Blanchard out there for shenanigans. Tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And you know me, man. Long story short, Cero Miedo. I'm going with the Lucha Bros. I was so fucking happy. Like, I jumped out of my seat when he won the title, man. I was like, if I could, I'd be doing fucking backflips. I was like, holy shit. Like, I think me and my brother were like texting each other. We're like, shit, yes, did you see that? Oh my god. Like, we were blowing up the house, man. We ordered tacos. We had extra salsa and everything, man. Here, bring out the bowls of menudo, boys.
Oh my god.
You guys can say that, I guess.
I think more people were happy, not just that the Lucha Bros won, but the fact that the Young Bucks weren't champions anymore. I think that was more so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also for the longest time, they've been saying that you got people like the Lucha Bros, and they're still not champs. Like, you've had them for this long, so, like, finally, Justicia.
Yeah, I was astounded. I was astounded how long it's taken them to be champion. Like, if you had told me at the height, like the first year of AEW, that within a 3-year span, that SCU and Hangman and Kenny would have the tag titles before the Lucha Bros, I'd have been like, you're delusional. But here we are.
You know, I'm also pretty much, Lucha Brothers, Team Lucha Bros. That's all I gotta say. Cero Miedo.
I still love how we got to see him perform live at that show. It was done with other tag teams. It was one of those, like, where 2 or 3 tag teams are all together. But I like how the finishing move was Pentacero grabbing the guy and pausing to, have everyone in the crowd say, Cero Miedo, before he planted him to win, Because obviously it was a shared match. He couldn't do the whole Cero Miedo every 5 seconds because everyone had to have their ring time. But I'm glad we got that chance.
But, one thing I would also like to add is that it would really be good that they win this match as well, and they keep winning so that, they can actually finally have the well-deserved recognition they deserved for quite a while.
I guess I'll go next. Yeah, I'm obviously going to go with as much as I love FTR, and I love both of them, honestly. I think legitimately, no matter what company they're in, both of these teams are 2 of the best tag teams in the world, to be honest, in the wrestling world. They're 2 of the best. Like, they're consistent. Their styles are just unique enough to be standouts. The only thing that scares me about Rey Fenix, and I mentioned this to someone, is he does a lot of unnecessary spots, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but the last couple matches he's done, he did, like, extremely dangerous spots where he just barely made it. And I'm very scared. Like, he gives me panic attacks, like, oh shit, am I going to see a Hayabusa 2 again? God damn it. Like, that's what I'm really scared of. But, other than that, like I said, I don't see Lucha Bros losing because they've only been champion for less than a month. There's no way that they're going to have them drop the title, especially to FTR, who've already been champions. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic match, though. I think it's going to be really cool. Hopefully there's not too many shenanigans, but I'm really curious to see their clashing in styles. So, especially if they give them like a 30-minute match, I'd be so happy. But yeah, I'm going to go with Lucha Bros.
I definitely got the Lucha Bros on that one, mainly because of their style. Like, they are a definite Lucha style, but they are very, very rough with it. Like, they're pretty much Smash Mouth luchadors. So I'm going to give it to the Lucha Brothers on that one.
Unanimously for the Lucha Brothers. I'm going to be the spoiler in this one. This time I'm going to go with FTR.
Get out.
I just, I don't know. I don't even know why. I just kind of have that feeling. I mean, I like the cut of their jib. I like what they represent. I like what they're about. I don't know. Something just gives me the feeling that it's their time right now. I don't know why. I could be totally wrong. Like you said, it's very soon. But it wouldn't be the first time something like that's happened either. So, I don't know. This is one of those ones where I'm just going with my gut. And it could be the fact that I ate like 7 pounds of Chinese food yesterday and today, but my gut's telling me FTR. My gut's telling me a lot of things right now.
Now, what's interesting, though, is that if they do win, though, they would be the first people ever in AEW history to, like, beat champs twice.
I mean, that's something to hang their hat on.
All right, guys, so the next match we got here is Bryan Danielson versus Miro for the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament Final, in which the winner receives a future AEW World Championship match. Now, of course, the deal was that originally the match that led up to this, it was supposed to be Orange Cassidy versus Moxley, and whoever wins would, go up against Daniel Bryanson. Oh, well, actually, that's the thing. Daniel Bryanson defeated Eddie Kingston, and that's what got him here. So, obviously, we found out what happened with Moxley, so Miro took his spot, and even though Orange Cassidy, put a good show, came real damn close, Miro still won, because you know how it is. Once Miro hits you with the kick to the jaw, and then he gets you into the game over thing, whatever the fuck he calls it now, the accolade, it's over. It's just over, So, yeah, so now we got Daniel Bryanson versus Miro for the AEW tournament thing. Damn, this is a tough one, because on one side, it's Daniel Bryanson, again, the whole thing where he just came in, it's too soon for him to lose, but on the other side, it's still Miro. I don't think Miro's had, and at least in solo matches, I don't think he's ever had, like losses. Well, I guess just losing the title, but I mean, other than that, he hasn't had too many losses, though, and again, once you're in the fucking accolade, it's over, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I'm just going to say Miro, just as not too predictable. I kind of think Miro might be a big enough person that it shouldn't hurt Daniel Bryan too much if he loses to Miro. I would like to think it shouldn't kill his momentum. It shouldn't, quote unquote, bury him like the armchair wrestler guys are always like they bring a person in the first match they lose. Oh, look, they're already burying him. I'm like, come on, give him a shot to build themselves up. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Miro, but I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Bryan still wins. But I still think Miro can still take him, and it shouldn't hurt. I mean, they could always do the thing where Daniel Bryan, fights it when he gets an accolade and he loses to being knocked out or some bullshit, so it looks like, hey, he never tapped. It looks cool because he never tapped or something like that to, protect him or whatever. But, yeah, I'm going to say Miro.
I like how you put Bryan through every possible different version of the name generator. I mean, he called him Daniel Bryanson. Like every possible variation during that whole rant. That was awesome.
It's just, I don't know. I'm just gonna call him the American Dragon, whatever. Yeah, Johnny, what do you think?
That guy who looks like the guy who just pumped my gas at the Wawa. How about that?
There you go. The Wawa. Oh, man.
Looks just like that guy.
Yeah. Johnny, what do you think about the Wawa guy?
The Wawa guy.
The Wawa match. Winner gets free tokens to the Wawa. Okay.
Now, the Wawa, you guys referring to that like the bus?
Yes, don't you remember when we were kids?
Yes, I know.
I thought you guys had sheets over
like, vámonos, Juanito, vámonos a la Wawa.
I think that's more like Dominican Spanish, a Wawa.
Like, mom used to say, hey, Marco, hey, Juanito, vámonos rápido a la Wawa, vámonos.
Vamos a la Wawa.
I thought you guys had sheets in Pennsylvania. Wawa is more of a Jersey thing.
Oh no, we were in Chicago, but like my mom is Dominican, and she would say, well, our mom, me and Johnny's mom, is Dominican, and yeah, they call it the Wawa over there, so that's where she got it from. I don't know, whatever.
Okay, continuing with this.
Because when I wrestled in Pennsylvania over the summer, they didn't have any. They didn't have a Wawa. They had Sheets. It's like a regional thing where they're like Sheets is better, and they're like, no, Wawa's better. It's like it's just one of those where you're from kind of things.
Oh, I get it. Okay. So in other words, when you're saying Wawa, you're talking about like the store, kind of like 7-Eleven, and we got Sheets over here. So I guess Joyzy has the Wawa. Oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the bus, because back in Chicago, we used to call the bus the Wawa, and most of our friends would call it the Wawa. Okay, I know what you mean now. Anyways, go on, Johnny.
Okay, so continuing with this story, this is kind of I don't know, man, because like Miro is a powerhouse. But Bryan Danielson, I mean, I'm pretty sure they want him to have some momentum as well. So it's kind of like split, like between, like Miro is most likely going to win the match, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know, like they might want to make Bryan Danielson win the match. And he also has his tatted and all that, so this is it's like those kind of matches that's kind of like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I'll just say Bryan Danielson, just because I don't know, he just got into the AEW, so they're probably gonna want him to shine a little bit, So I think he might win the match.
Bryan Danielson completely, because let's face it, the writing's on the wall, and you'll see what I mean when we talk about the later part of the card. I mean, he's a definite shoe-in to win. Now, the question of it is, how good of a match is it going to be? Because, I mean, Miro's been doing pretty decent as of late. Daniel Bryanson's still on fire. I'm going to be judging more of the quality of the match rather than the actual outcome, because we know it's going to be Daniel Bryanson if you look at the stipulations.
I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson solely because, well, first off, Miro wasn't even supposed to be in the match. It was supposed to be probably Moxley. It was going to be Moxley winning. And let's be honest, it probably would have been Moxley beating Bryan Danielson anyway, because he's Moxley. But thankfully, Mr. Alcohol stopped him.
Oh, God.
I'm playing. But no, honestly, I think that Bryan Danielson's going to win. And then that will lead into something I'll probably bring into my later main event prediction. But I think Bryan Danielson will win the match between him and Miro. I don't think he'll make him tap, though. I think he's going to make him, knock him out with the running knee. So, yeah. My pick's for Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I just feel like, same thing I said earlier with regard to Punk, I feel like it's real soon. I mean, Danielson's been there less time than Punk, and it just seems too soon for him to take a big loss. I don't see him losing it. I think Miro could bounce back. Danielson, he's not old, but he's getting up there. He's a lot cooler when another company waited too long to pull the trigger on Bryan Danielson, and so they got there eventually, but it didn't have the impact that it needed to, and then it all fell apart. Part of that's because they waited too long. I feel like a lot of what AEW does is kind of reactionary. They take guys who maybe weren't used right in the other place, and they're like, we're going to use them right. So I kind of feel like that's part of it. I'm saying Bryan Danielson goes over, and Miro is going to do something else. He'll be fine either way. But yeah, I'm calling it for Danielson in this one.
AEW is basically like human resources best dream come true.
They're a recycling plant for wrestling talent, because it's literally like, there's no value in this anymore. And AEW is like, oh, well, with enough of these wrestling talents, we can have a very nice bench. So that's... I'm sorry. I know, but that's a weird metaphor, but that's essentially what I do see. I do see it like that a little bit. You gotta pump a little fun.
If they invite the wrestlers from the other wrestling company with champagne and caviar to close the deal.
Well, the funny thing is that one of the things no one's really talked about, and if you've listened to the other Dive and Cutter podcasts that I've been on, I've even pointed this out. And everyone is just utterly shocked that Impact wouldn't want anything to do with AEW anymore. They want to end their contract with them. And I said, because they never fucking promoted Impact once. They had Impact come on, but that's it. Like, they mentioned them, maybe, once, and Impact promoted AEW up the ass. It's a matter of mutual respect. You gotta have it both ways. You know?
Oh, I get it. They never said anything like, catch these guys an Impact on so-and-so time, or don't miss the next pay-per-view because Kenny Omega will be protecting it against Moose, or that kind of thing, you mean?
Yeah, they never did it once. Not once. Like, and even New Japan, when they were fighting Moxley, feuding with Moxley, and he was the IWGP US champion, all they would do was talk about how he's a member of AEW's roster, and they talk about how, well, maybe he's worn out too thin, maybe he's asking for too much, he's buying... Like, they actually promoted AEW, but AEW can't do the same. That's what's fucked up. It's like, you gotta be able to do it both ways, you know? Like, you gotta, you know, hey, this guy's giving us free air, free ad space, free air. You know, why can't you do it once in a while on your show? It's like, no. It's like, no, because what about us? Like, literally, they've done this since the NWA, if you watch it. Like, why do you think the NWA champion's never been on...
hey, someone just hopped in.
Oh.
And hey, DJ Ep is in the house. How's it going there, buddy?
You know, it's always better than you, and that's all that matters. You guys already know that, so it's good to be back. Missed you guys. Sort of.
Yeah,
some of you.
Every show needs a heel.
Just who I am, baby. It doesn't have to be heel or face. It's just who I am.
Oh, God. So anyways, guys, next big match, and of course, DJF will join us on this one. Like I said here, the next match we got is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel and Jamie Hayter in her corner, so she's got the numbers there, versus Ty Conti, who also has Anna Jay in her corner, but still that's like 1 against 2, right? Singles match for the AEW World's Championship, and this time, I mean, I support Britt Baker. She's got the numbers game, but they can always do that thing where they interfere so much to the point where the referee, you know, kicks them out of the you know, the ring or whatever. I'm going to give it to Ty Conti because, I mean, I think at this point she's earned it. She's got amazing skills. It's like she's keep pulling all these different, like, martial arts and judo throws and submission moves and all this shit, like, out of nowhere. Like, you think you see her arsenal. She keeps bringing out new shit, you know. And I think by this point, Britt Baker, I mean, you know, she's had the title long enough. I mean, she might still win, keep it a little while longer, but I think she's had it long enough. I think it wouldn't be too much of a big thing if Ty Conti, you know, wins this. I'm going to go for Ty Conti, even though it's kind of stacked against her. But we're going to go with Ty. What do you think, Johnny?
Well, personally, I mean, this is going to be a very action-packed match. I mean, you know, Ty Conti is extremely talented. She has a lot of good fighting techniques. But then, you know, Britt Baker, she has her fighting style, and of course, you know, there's going to be a lot of cheating involved. It's kind of like a tough one because you kind of want Ty Conti to win the match, but at the same time, you also want Britt Baker to win the match. But I don't know. I think I'm team Britt Baker anyways, so it has to be the DMD.
Well, let's have a DJF go in here since he just got in.
You know, I don't understand the hype behind Ty Conti. I've watched her matches. I can't get behind her. I don't see the draw. She's a beautiful lady. She's easy on the eyes. Her promos are, yeah, it is what it is. She's not a talker. That's not her strong suit. But I don't think she's AEW Women's Championship material right now. I think she's got a long way to go. And I don't think she's knocking off the Doctor. If anyone's going to take her down, it's going to be in a bigger setting. It's going to be a much bigger match because Britt has earned the right to run with this title for some time. It's not going to be Ty Conti. It's not her time. I don't know when it's ever going to be her time, but it is definitely not right now. the Doctor holds on to the belt, plain and simple.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Britt Baker has been running strong with the belt for a good bit, and I don't think they're gonna like pretty much cut her fuse just yet. Given Tay Conti, she's very talented, very awesome. I mean, literally, she's Laura from Street Fighter V if you look at her background. But when it comes down to it, it's gonna be a while before Britt Baker goes. I'm thinking, at some point it's probably gonna be Utada Hikaru coming back and taking her out, and then Tay Conti and her having a match. But as of right now, Ty's still kind of working her way around. So I got to give it to Britt Baker.
I'm going to give it to Britt Baker solely because I am like 90% sure I know when she's going to lose the belt, and that is it's going to be a massive, big, epic match that she still hasn't had a good one-on-one with her. Thunder Rosa is going to take her belt. I just see that happening. She's the only one I could see like dethroning her. And to be honest, she deserves to be the champion anyway. Hikaru was a boring champion. She was so boring. Like, they had her... Yeah, she held the title longer than anyone, but she held the title longer than anyone. She defended it like, what, 6 times, 7 times? It's like, ooh. Even Nia Jax defended it more on a consistent basis than... I'm sorry, not Nia Jax, I'm sorry. Even Nyla Rose defended it more on a consistent basis than Hikaru Shida. I mean, I will say, at least Britt Baker is consistent with her style. Yeah, she's a cheater. Yeah, she's a, great talker, great mic worker. I think she's just too red hot. And to be honest, I just don't see... I love Tay Conti. I think she's very talented. I don't see her being the top champion anytime within the span of this year. I could see her going after that new belt, the TBS title. I could see her going after that. But I don't see her going after the main title anytime soon. So for that, I'm going to go with DMD.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Britt Baker on this one. Although I had to blink a little bit a minute ago when DJF was like saying he can't get behind Conti. I was like, well, if you don't, I will, brother. Oh, but nothing against her. Love her. Fun to watch. Bright future, probably. But yeah, I think the timing of it is really the main thing. And it feels like Britt's run is too hot right now. That's just the feeling I get. So, no real. I mean, if Conti wins, I won't cry about it. But it doesn't feel right. The timing doesn't feel right. So I'm gonna go with Britt Baker on this one.
Hey, like I said, that live show we saw when she was dancing around, like Johnny and I got the best seat in the house. Ho!
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
All right, so this time I'm the contrarian. I'm the only one going for Ty. Everyone's going for DMD. And,
DMD.
yes.
DMD.
It's got to the point where in my line of work, which of course I'm not going to name, we keep our personal lives out of this, but whenever I deal with customers that actually are DMD, I have to, bite my tongue to not say DMD. You know what I mean? They're like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
But anyways, next big match here, which I'm sure they're going to have it. I'll be surprised if they put it, up in the card. They usually have it best for last or semi-last, The Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Le Champion of Putin. Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, who is the current TNT champion. I'm surprised he's not defending the title, but I guess, so he's not wrestling twice or whatever. With Santana and Ortiz versus Men of the Year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, and the American Top Team, Junior Dos Santos, Andrei Arlovsky, and Dan Lambert. 10-man tag team Minneapolis Street Fight. Yep, there you go. And I don't know. It's a crazy match. I have a feeling it's gonna be one of those kind of like the Stadium Stampede, those pre-recorded skit type things. But we'll see. For some reason the guy, I don't know his name. I don't know which one of these fuckers it is. I think it's Dan Lambert. just came in talking shit about like wrestling and crap, and he's back in Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. For some reason, they started insulting with with Jericho and Inner Circle. A lot of jerk off jokes here and there between the like that kind of humor with the back and forth and the promos. And it's like, hey, it's the Inner Circle jerk. Are you guys tired, or did you bring in Santana Ortiz because you need a couple of spare hands and junk like that? And the last night, the last weekend was last Wednesday was one where they had there was like a girl amongst them. I don't know her name, and when they were doing like a big announcement of like which one of the members, there's like 7 of them, I think. So which one of these 5 will the Inner Circle choose to like challenge? So they all started calling out, I challenge Ethan Page, whatever. So the girl's like, yo, don't forget to include me because I could take all 5 of you at once. And Jericho's kind of like, hey, that joke kind of writes itself, doesn't it? Maybe save that for your OnlyFans. And of course, the big shocker was that since Dan Lambert was always bragging about being like the first, person, obviously he's not supposed to count, he's just a mouthpiece. They're all like, well, we picked, for the last guy, Dan Lambert. You said so yourself. You're the first member. You're the one. You count. So he's dragged in here and everything. And yeah. So for me, I'm gonna go for Inner Circle. I mean, hey, they're the guys. It's gotta be Inner Circle. Humiliate these fuckers. I don't know if the street fight usually, aren't they like no rules or whatever? The other people that were not selected might still come in and cause some shit. So we don't know. They might interfere. And so in this case, the Inner Circle's outnumbered, but I still give it to the Inner Circle. Because, hey, Le Champion, am I right? And what do you think, Johnny?
This match, I'm pretty sure the Inner Circle will win this match. I just don't see it with this Man of the Year team. I mean, Scorpio Sky, I've seen some matches with him, and he has a very talented wrestler. Not really familiar with anybody else to the team, but, we already know how Chris Jericho fights. We already know how Sammy Guevara fights. Those two, I know more like how they perform on the ring. So and it is going to be a street style fight, so it's going to be like those anything kind of goes kind of match. I'm assuming that's how it's going to be. So I don't know. I think this and there's definitely going to be a lot of cheating going on. So I don't know. I think the Inner Circle really have a good shot with this match.
I'm going to go with American Top Team solely because it's a street fight. Like if it was a match, I give it to Inner Circle, but because it's a street fight, I think they're going to use that to hide any of their shortcomings. You know what I mean? Like any of the stuff that they're unfamiliar with, ring style. All of them are former, or at least American Top Team. In reality, they are they're kind of like a wrestling school, but they're specifically for MMA. The current, their highest profile person right now in the actual American Top Team is the current bantamweight champ. She's the current bantamweight champion in UFC. So she's I just forgot her name. Hang on. It is Amanda Nunes. So the current UFC women's bantamweight champion and featherweight champion. She's like their top person right now. So like I said, they do have the credibility as far as like MMA, but wrestling and MMA aren't the same thing. And I think that's why they're doing it as a street fight. I think it's to give them the win, because then the Inner Circle can take them back and be like, hey, this wasn't a wrestling match, let's fight in a wrestling match kind of thing. That's my guess though. So for that, I think I'm going to just go with American Top Team, because I think they're doing the whole street fight thing to kind of cover up any shortcomings that they have in the ring.
It's really hard to disagree with all the points you just made. I really think that America's Top Team gets the victory. I think, like you said, the street fight really plays to the strengths that they don't really have when it comes to a wrestling match. Not saying they couldn't participate in a wrestling match, but just a straight 10-minute match, That's not their forte. That's not what they're going for. And I think that Paige Van Zant is probably going to be the difference maker in this. I imagine she pops up at the end of the match. And I'm guessing a low blow, a knockout, something to Jericho. And I'm calling Dan Lambert getting the pin on Jericho to further this feud more. And just an additional piece to this, I have absolutely loved Dan Lambert since he came on board. I love this whole old guy yells at clouds thing where he talks trash about AEW, yet, you know, he was invited in by Tony Khan, and it's like, why would somebody come in who's invited and then verbally just berate the entire company? And it's just, he's so good on the mic. I love listening to this guy talk. He's got some great one-liners. He's surrounded himself with a lot of great talent. Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky. I mean, there's just a lot of great talent there. And I'm a big Ethan Page fan. I love a lot of his stuff off camera. But him and Scorpio Sky, these guys need to get some victories under their belts because right now they're floundering. And I think this could be something big for them, maybe putting them into the tag title picture down the line. You need a couple of big wins. This could be pretty big for the both of them moving forward. Once America's Top Team steps out of the picture, they can move forward with this on their resume. So I'm going to go America's Top Team gets the win thanks to Paige Van Zant.
Yeah, I'm going to go with America's Top Team. It looks like with Junior Dos Santos and Andre Arlovsky, it's going to be a pretty good one. I mean, again, it's a street fight. You know, there's no wrestling rules as compared to MMA rules. The only person that they have in the inner circle that can even, you know, kind of go toe-to-toe with that is Jake Hager because he has his MMA background. Otherwise, unless they can use, like, the area to their advantage like they've done in the other few street fights that they've had in, like, stadiums and such, no, it's going to be America's Top Team.
I mean, it's tough for me to call because everybody on every side makes good points. They really do. I don't know. I got a weird kind of perspective on all this stuff myself. I'm looking at it like I don't speak for anybody, honestly, obviously, but I don't know how much this whole angle's getting over with people. I don't know if it is. It's hard for me to feel like it is. I don't know. Historically, when I look at these kind of things, in the big picture, mixing wrestling and MMA, it's always kind of tricky, and I'm not sure it works. I'm not sure it works because the audiences tend to like what they like for completely different things. You know what I mean? It's like so many MMA fans. Maybe, I don't know, Jack, do you get this sense of this? So many MMA fans have this deep-seated loathing for professional wrestling. Like, the entire reason they watch MMA is because it's not pro wrestling. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. They have this disdain for... They use the whole, it's real, UFC's real, wrestling's fake, it's real. I'm like, okay, first of all, if you've ever been to a wrestling school, tell that to the trainers that it's fake. Like, go in and out. At UFC, it's easy to say that it's real. It's easy to say, oh, they're tough. Yeah, of course you're going to be tough when your job is literally sitting on your ass for 3 months training for one fight of 5 minutes. Of course you're going to win. Like, even boxers have more endurance than that shit.
Yeah, but I think they're referring to the fact that wrestling's like, you know, it's predetermined for better or for worse. And I'm assuming, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming UFC's the real deal. It's like you fight, and if you can take the guy, you can, and if you can't, well, you're fucked. You know, you're not like quote unquote booked to win. It's like you better take them down for real. That's what isn't that like how it goes?
My ultimate point is,
the thing of it,
I feel like it's always iffy when they do these kind of cross-pollination things. I mean, Impact, TNA, they did it more than anybody in this country. As far as, I mean, at point of fact, that's even the last, we saw America's Top Team come in, not a couple of years ago, they had a little pop-in over there at Impact as well. So it's not new for them, and I do give them credit. I know for a fact Lambert is a wrestling guy. He's got an appreciation and a fandom for wrestling, and that's kind of where these things come from. So it comes from a sincere place, and good for them on that. But like I said, I'm just not sure it's getting over with the wider audience. because it usually does not. And wrestling fans like wrestling, and MMA fans like MMA, and there's a little crossover, and there's some people who like both, but I don't think for the most part that's how it works. And I'm not sure that what they have on TV, they're getting a lot of heat. They're getting a lot of heat, but I'm not convinced it's heel heat, and I'm concerned that it's more like get off my TV heat, because we'd rather see anybody but you guys. I think that's the predominant opinion. So to make the long story long, my opinion ultimately on this match result, I don't know if they're going to drag the angle out, because I don't know if the angle's getting over. So I'm going to say Inner Circle takes it, because I just don't know how many rematches they could do or how much longer they can keep doing this angle for, because I just don't know if the fans are really into it. But that's just me, again. I have no emotional investment in it. I have nothing for or against the storyline. It's fine for what it is. I like the mic work that they've been doing. It's funny. It's cute. I know Lambert's a fan, so respect on that. So it's coming from a sincere place, and it's entertaining. I just don't know if it's getting over. So I'm going to go with Inner Circle, because I don't think they're going to drag it out.
Not only that, but in the long run, I mean, if you want Ethan Page and what's his name, Scorpio Sky to go over, rack some wins, I mean, they gotta do it on their own too. They can't just form part of this mega faction. It almost doesn't count, even if these guys win. You know what I mean? We need them to win, like, some tag matches here and there, Alright, guys, so now we're going for the main event, and this one here is going to be Kenny Omega defending the title with the Elite. So, of course, you got, like, Don Callis, you got the Young Bucks, you got fucking Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler, their whole parade of people there. And they're going to go up against Hangman Adam Page, but he also has the Dark Order on his side, so that is kind of interesting. We'll have a couple of people there to keep the Elite at bay. And yes, the singles match for the AEW World Championship title. And for me, this is kind of a personal, kind of just a bet I did to myself. If Kenny Omega loses the title, then adios to the douche stash. I'm going to shave it off officially, and I'll just grow a regular beard, because, it's winter months. I usually grow the beard there. But the douche stash will be gone if Kenny Omega loses the title. So that's like a personal bet I'm putting on myself. And, of course, I'll probably post a picture of myself, clean shaven or whatever, if that happens. Unfortunately, I got to go against my own judgment here. I mean, I kind of think the writing's on the wall. I mean, Hangman Adam Page, I mean, he's finally over with the fans. Like it's a big difference between when AEW started. The casual Joe is like, well, who the fuck is Adam Page? Why is he fighting Jericho for the title? What? But now when he came back, like, there was just this huge pop. The writing's on the wall. It's finally his time to come. He wasn't ready then. He's more than ready now. You're going to have the entire crowd cheering, cowboy shit, cowboy shit, cowboy shit when he wins. So, yeah, unfortunately, it sounds like I'm going to have to kiss the douche stash goodbye. Hangman Adam Page is going to be winning the title.
But yeah, this is pretty interesting, because Hangman Adam Page is a very good wrestler. And then, Kenny Omega's very good, but, of course, there's going to be a lot of cheating. But, I'm not a big Young Bucks or anything like that. But I actually like Kenny Omega as a wrestler. I like his wrestling style. So as much as I hate the fact that the Young Bucks are, in this match, I still have to give it to Kenny Omega.
The douche tag lives.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put my words in on it. I'm saying the writing's on the wall, but it's in a different way. If you look at a previous match, which is Bryan Danielson and Miro, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to end up being the best stash machine, Kenny Omega. Simply due to the fact that they're going to work up to that rivalry where it's going to be Danielson versus Omega. No disrespect to Hangman Page. He's gotten a lot of pop since he's joined the Dark Order. It's his due. He's still going to get that pop even without the title. That might be a running gig to where he comes up to it a little bit later, but as of right now, it's looking like they're working their way up to Danielson versus Omega, so I gotta give it to Kenny.
Now that is interesting though, but wow, man, I don't know. I would feel like, I mean, just like they would boo the fucking house. It would be one of the only times where AEW might potentially end their show with everyone fucking booing. I don't know. Unless, of course, Daniel Bryan comes, where the fuck his name is anymore. Of course, if he, comes in near the end, cheap shots Kenny, and they fight, maybe that'll, send the fans home happy. You always want to send the fans home happy, which is something that WWE barely ever does. Beat the traffic, dun, 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 beat the traffic, you know what I mean? But, yeah, that's a thing. You can have Kenny Omega win, people are kind of pissed, Daniel Bryan comes in, they fight, they hint. That could work.
Yeah, it just leads off to a really good face-off because now you have Daniel Bryan as the contender for his belt, him still holding the belt. So, yeah, I think that's how it's going to turn out.
It makes sense either way, but I'm just going to have to... I don't know. They have a habit of sending the crowd home happy sometimes, or paying off a build sometimes. They've been really building at Hangman Page. I don't know. Again, most of these tonight, most of the ones on this show, I'm just going from the gut, and my gut's telling me that it's finally time for Omega to give it up. It feels like the Page story's been building. It feels like people are reacting to it. They want it. I don't know. I think Paige is going to win and walk away with the title. I think the last pay-per-view of the year, they're going to want to go out with a feel-good moment, something they can put on the highlight reels and their best of 2021 and all of that. I just see too many reasons why it just makes sense. So mark me down for Paige.
Notice how there's a severe lack of people playing with volleyballs or beach balls in the AEW crowds. I wonder why.
Oh, God.
No one's playing with volleyballs. No one's on their phones. Do you even know how to wrestling crowd, bro?
Could it be they're actually entertained?
Oh my god! But that's not good shit.
Are you not entertained?
That's not good shit. In fact, that is so much not good shit. Let's let 10 other people go. Where's that hat?
You end up with no shit.
Where's that hat with the names in it?
But seriously, WWE they need to get it together, because I don't know, man. All these wrestlers quitting and getting fired or whatever, it's kind of damn, when is this gonna stop?
To quote one of my favorite comedy shows, Letterkenny, pull your finger out of your ass and figure it out.
It's one of the best ones I've seen. Somebody was career mode in the next WWE game. It just ends with everybody getting released. They're so to continue story mode, pick up the AEW game because all the characters are going to get transferred over to that game. And then it's but now AEW has too many extra characters, so to continue to the Impact game. Oh, no, wait, Impact doesn't have video games.
All right, welcome to WWE. Here is your contract, giving away all of your rights. Here are your shackles. Here is what you are expected to make, and here is your pink slip. Hang on to that, because that's going to be valuable later.
Yep.
Okay, just put half these people on TV in the first place.
I know, right? Literally, they just got Frankie Monet, Taya Valkyrie, from Impact, and they were she even said they were in talks with her for years to get her there, and then they get her there, and then they're Anyway, okay, so my prediction for Kenny versus Hangman. First of all, they've been building this for over, 2 years? When did they break up as a tag team? Wasn't it over 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's been about 2 years.
They've been building it up since then, and, the whole will he, won't he join the Dark Order thing, all of that, everything stemmed from Hangman and Kenny feuding. So I honestly, I'm 90% sure they were supposed to have Kenny versus Hangman at All Out, but because of, Hangman's kid being born,
how dare that
like
kid
a
be
premature
born?
thing they didn't plan for. Him taking that much time off and stuff, and plans get scrapped. It happens, But
how dare that kid be born?
I think what I think is gonna happen, and I hope I'm right. I really hope I'm right. I'm not trying to. I have a part that I'm pretty sure is going to happen, and then a part that I hope happens. So, as I said before, I think Bryan Danielson is going to win the match against Miro, getting a number 1 contenders match. I hope Adam Page beats Kenny. But I think, or how I'd like it to happen, is at some point during the match, with the inner circle, or not the inner circle, the Super Click and the Dark Order feuding or back and forth, and then Don Callis and all that stuff, Bryan Danielson will come out. He'll just come out, and Kenny will be all distracted for like a split second between Callis and Danielson and all that stuff. In that split second, boom, buckshot lariat, and then he'll beat him. So Hangman will win the title, and then they won't say because of Danielson, but they'll hint at, Kenny being the shit heel could throw that back and be like, oh, it's only because of Danielson, and, shit heel tactics, whatever. Then come Danielson versus Page, Kenny will screw over Danielson winning, and then that will build up a feud between those two and keep Page the champion. That's what I'd like to see, and that's what I kind of hope will happen. But I'm pretty sure if you don't have Kenny drop the title to Page, 2 things are going to happen. One, the crowd's going to get stale with Kenny and the Elite. They're literally going to be like, this is boring. Like, literally. It's just, they're going to have the same mentality I do about Jon Moxley. And then the other problem is, and this is the bigger issue, Page will never be able to get over. And the fans will know that. They'll be like, well, they're never going to let him get over then. Like, here you finally get this feud that you've been building for over 2 years and you have him lose? Like, what was the point? So they're not going to be invested anymore. So, really, the only course of action would be to have Page beat Kenny. It's the only one that would make sense. But that's just my prediction.
I think it does make sense. Like I said, so much of wrestling is timing. And sometimes things happen and it's the right thing at the wrong time. And that could be just as bad as doing the wrong thing altogether. I mean, yeah, it just... I'm on the same page with you on this one. It feels right, and I think your scenario makes sense, too.
Because Danielson wouldn't be brash enough to just literally interject himself, but I could see him trying to compensate Kenny relying on Don Callis, you know what I mean? Like him going up to, like, Callis is about to help Kenny, and then Danielson comes out, and he's just, like, there to, like, get on the apron and like he looks like he's going to interfere, but he doesn't, and then Kenny turns around, buckshot lariat. That's what makes more sense to me than, Danielson like straight up just running in the ring and doing something.
No, I mean, of course not. He's not going to do that. But like you said, he could just like stand there, and the whole distraction, the whole deer in the headlights thing that wrestlers always do when someone shows up long enough to turn around and eat a finisher.
Well, I mean, if that was me in that situation, I'd wonder why the guy who just served me my waffle fries at Denny's was staying in ringside trying to get my attention.
Well, you see, that's your deer in the headlights moment. Like, what the fuck? Did you want a tip?
That's me.
Well, this is here's a scientific fact that the wrestling community, the wrestling world doesn't want you to know. This is a scientific fact. Rikki can attest to this. Every time a referee gets hit, the second they get hit, they immediately become blind and deaf temporarily. And then as soon as they get up, they're fine. Totally fine. That's a scientific fact. They specifically hire these refs who have these brain injuries that as soon as they slightly touch the ground or get hurt in any way capacity, boom, lights out. Oh no!
Because they have an extra layer of. It's an extra layer of fluid around the brain, is what it is. It's
exactly. They're like
makes them incredibly susceptible to even the slightest tap on the head.
Exactly, slightest tap. You could sneeze on them, and they're like, oh! And they always fall. They always fall in a fetal position with their arm covering their eyes. It just happens. And I mean, how are they supposed to know that someone's getting hit with a chair? They don't. They can't hear. They're deaf. Everyone knows that.
Oh God. Well, anyways, guys, I think we kind of covered a lot of stuff here. A lot of news in the wrestling world, a lot of releases, even entire companies. My God, right? I think the only matches that we had, like the whole thing, was CM Punk versus Eddie was the only one where we all went for CM Punk. Let me see here. Oh, no, let me see. Yeah, that was the only one. All the other ones had at least one contrarian, but the only one where we all agreed unanimously was the CM Punk match. But, yeah, I say it's been a good podcast. I'm not sure if you guys got any final thoughts or any other things before we go into the 4 or 5 hour range here with so many people on here. DJF had to go, but he did say to put in the word that he also says that he's also rooting for Hangman Page to win the title and everything. And yeah, what can I say, guys? It's been a fun evening. I'm glad everyone was able to make it tonight. I know we were kind of all busy last time, but I'm glad you guys are here. Any closing things y'all want to throw in there?
Well, it's gonna be a pretty busy weekend for me next week, and so that's why I'm glad we were able to get this out of the way. Because I'm not gonna be able to watch the show as it happens on account of I'm gonna be working a double shot next Saturday, and then I'm gonna be exhausted all weekend. So that's how my weekends go. But on Saturday, I am going to be wrestling twice once again. I'm going to be appearing for Super Crazy Pro Wrestling in Deptford, and not sure exactly who I'm going to be facing on that card, but it should be a barn burner, as they say. It's always super crazy at Super Crazy. We got Sean Donovan there in the main event. We've had him come in a few times. Great guy. And then from there, after I'm done at Super Crazy, I am going to be traveling to Millville, New Jersey, making my debut for IWA Vintage Pro. And it hasn't been announced just yet, but I do believe I'm going to be going one-on-one with Dave Dahl on the IWA Vintage Pro show at the Phenom Factory in Millville, New Jersey. It's going to be a benefit show. Saturday, November 13th. Doors open 6:30 p.m. Bell time 7:30. Go online, check that one out. Flyers on my Facebook page. So, yeah, a lot going on, and a lot going on that day. Even though I won't be there physically, my home promotion, SWF, is going to be putting on their huge end-of-year show at the Highline Arena in Matawan, Storm Surge. A lot of big names on that card. But unfortunately, they broke the bank, and they couldn't afford to bring me in for that one. They're also going to have Sean Donovan. He's pulling a double shot. We got Dreamer coming in. A lot of big names. So that's going to be SWF Storm Surge. Be sure and check that out if you're closer to that show. If you are in the Millville area, though, come see me at IWA Vintage Pro. But, yeah, it's going to be a big weekend of wrestling next weekend, not just for AEW, but Jersey Indies are going to be killing it and lighting it up all over the place, too. Are any of you guys or any of your fans that you know of, you guys like wrestling booking simulation video games? Yeah, you guys remember those, right? They were kind of big a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Make your own wrestling, fantasy wrestling, where you're the booker now, or the general manager, whatever you prefer.
That's exactly it. So there's some exciting stuff on the horizon on account of Valderix Games working on the latest and greatest booking simulator, the largest roster of real-life wrestlers ever assembled for a booking simulator, Indie Pro 22, Rebirth of the Territories. There's going to be dozens and dozens and dozens of real-life independent pro wrestlers from all over the United States, including yours truly, the God of Thunder, Rikki Roxx, making his gaming debut. Valderix Games Indie Pro Wrestling 22. Check that out on Facebook.
Oh, shit.
That's Valderix Games, VALDARIX Games. Look it up on Facebook. You got me. You got a lot of my contemporaries. You got SP Anderson, the ref. You got Vinny Cenzo. You got Charlie Bonifer. There's Rico De La Vega. There's already been like 50 people announced for this game, and more all the time. So definitely check it out. And you're gonna get to play as me, and put me in situations, and hopefully I'll succeed. You can't do much worse than some of the other people who booked me over the years. So
Oh God.
it's not possible.
Hey,
Gotta
if
do
you
better than
guys
some of them
animate
did.
the crowd, have a couple of particular-looking individuals in the crowd there.
I also forgot to mention that people who back the game on Patreon, you get to name your own custom arena depending on your backing amounts. So that's pretty cool, too.
Ooh, I gotta look into that.
It's exciting. I'm not sure exactly when the deal is happening, but again, it's all over the internet. So Valderix Games, check it out on the Facebook. Check out how to become a Patreon backer and look for more information. And I'm seeing new names announced for it literally every day, so it's pretty awesome.
Well, like I said, man, like in the crowd, you could have like cool Mexican dude with long blonde hair, and you got like a skinny Mexican dude next to him, and you got another guy with glasses, gloves, a black jacket, and a black hat there, and you got a cool black dude there that's like sketching stuff as he's watching the show, and you know what I mean?
Good deal. But yeah, so that's what's been going on with me. Those are some things to watch out for. A bunch of big shows coming up, and of course the game. So yeah, big things afoot.
And that's like for PC, right?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be on the internet there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll
think
check
what-
that out.
I think that's where most booking simulators happen. I think even the old WWF one they used to have, I think it was like an online thing.
All right, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely, like I said, there's going to be more information dropping as time goes on. So I confess there's not a whole ton that I myself know about the mechanics of it all. But I'm really excited to find out because it's a pretty big undertaking. I mean, to get that many real-life wrestlers involved in something like this, it's never been done on this level, so that's pretty hot.
And then the cool thing
That's
is,
hot.
like, as each, because obviously this stuff takes a while, like it takes maybe even a year or so to make. Like, as we do the podcast, you can keep us up to date, like, on the progress and how's it going, how's it coming along. We'll show some, screenshots or whatever, as the progress is going. That's cool. It'd be like an ongoing project there.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. I know that, booking sims are, it's a little bit more stats and text than it's not as glamorous as certain other types of games are, but, it's really in-depth stuff, and, it's a niche like, any other kind of gaming is, but, there's a market for it, and people putting it together, they're passionate, and, they're the ones doing the legwork, reaching out to us, and saying, putting this together, we want you to be a part of it, so I was happy to be a part of that. And, definitely keep everybody in the loop as more and more comes out about it, because I'm excited, and, it's been a while since a good booking sim has hit the scene, so, because I think the WWF, I think they just stopped doing them a few years ago, because I guess they didn't see any money in it, so, whatever. But, yeah, definitely, we live in interesting times.
Yeah. Well, if anyone else got any closing statements, I thank you all for being here once again. Like I said, it was kind of, we all have our lives. We're all busy. We all got jobs and responsibilities and all that. So, but I'm glad you all came over. We even got a little bit of DJF tonight. That's pretty cool. A little surprise hopping in there. And so this is on behalf of everyone here. This is Mark Rodriguez. We'll catch you live there. Well, not live, but we'll catch you sometime after the Full Gear is over so that, we can compare if we were right or wrong and all that. And we'll see what's going to happen to the douche stash, if it's gone or not. But yeah, Mark Rodriguez here, signing off for tonight.
This is Johnny Rodriguez. Always a pleasure to be here.
NinjaPanda 1980. I'm out of here.
And Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews, also signing out.
And once again, jerking the curtain, hitting the lights, calling it a night. Got a Thunderlord of Rock and Roll, Rikki Roxx signing off. Be sure to check me out anywhere you find me. I'm all over the internet. I'm blowing up big. Check us out. Be sure to follow SWF, IWA, Super Crazy Pro Wrestling, and of course, be sure to keep following the Diving Cutter Podcast. And if you can't be good, be bad, baby.